What is up, everybody? It's over Steve today. So apparently, there are rumors that Sony is looking to acquire Square Enix. So this all started with an interview from one of the previous heads of the Square Enix Adios Montreal studios, and he's giving an interview about why Square Enix sold off his studios. I know it was the studios that made like the Deus Ex game. I think it was the Tomb Raider games as well. I'm not sure, but I know it was those. It was definitely that time period where it's like I believe it was kind of like last year, or those either last year or it was like 2 years ago where they sold off a lot of those studios off. And only mainly just left with the Japanese ones left, but the Japanese was pretty much left over. So then he also talked about in an interview that it appears to be a speculation that he has heard that Sony is interested in acquiring Square Enix, which is how he explains the rather low price of $300 million for the three AAA studios. So you think Sony is looking to buy Square Enix? That would kind of explain why they're so buddy right now. Why Sony keeps making these games, that's these high profile Square Enix games, be console exclusive to PlayStation. Are they just getting to the point where they're gonna try to buy the studio outright? So I mean, it kind of makes sense because Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 is still exclusive to PlayStation. The first one is as well too. The remakes of Final Fantasy 7. Then you have what else was exclusive they made? I'm drawing a blank right now, but yeah, they keep making a lot of high-profile Square Enix games exclusive to PlayStation. So I wouldn't be shocked if they're trying to make a move to acquiring Square Enix. So let's see what people got to say about this. I'm kind of curious about the Sony guys who be like everything every time Microsoft buys a studio or publisher, they trying to do a monopoly. I want to see the same guys have a problem with this news of Sony's trying to acquire Square Enix, and I bet those guys won't have an issue with it whatsoever. But when Microsoft buys some studios or publishers, it's a bad thing and it's monopoly. So Sony goes for Japan and Square Enix gets rid of the Western studios. After how Final Fantasy has been good for a few years, it's not surprising. Okay, another game I was thinking about was Final Fantasy 16. How that game is upcoming PlayStation exclusive as well. So they're doing the 7 remakes and the 16 are exclusive. So let's see. Square Enix Japan still has the major IPs. The main article shows the troubles of these Western studios, which wouldn't be very appealing in M&A. Okay. Probably net rumors. The guys have been part of Idols for nearly a decade. Yeah, that is kind of true. So they really want to take this guy's advice, who hasn't been in a part of the studio for like over a decade. That is kind of true. But yeah, that's why it's just rumors, because it's not nothing is confirmed. It's just people hearsay for right now. Square Enix is selling some of its studios, which definitely, if we got rid of some of the stuff, to not be too big to get acquired move. Okay. A lot of theories going on why they get rid of those studios. I'm guessing it's Japan wanted to keep the company in Japan, because I would figure Microsoft, Tencent, and Embracer would be do a bidding war for someone like Square Enix. Okay, so apparently Japan has implemented strict laws that prevent foreign companies from buying Japanese-based businesses. Okay. It's pretty much the primary reason why Microsoft hasn't outright purchased Sega. They can't. They can set up joint ventures or invest, but also a foreign investment is capped. Oh, that's interesting. Japanese company, only one of the Japanese pub/developers makes sense. It would explain why they sold Adios. Sony will be more interested in Square Japan. I mean, to be honest, as I have all consoles, it just doesn't affect me either way. If they do sell Square Enix off to Sony, I wouldn't care. I could still just play the games on PlayStation, but I mean, it kind of seems like it's going that way anyway, to be honest. It's kind of like they keep making these partnership deals where they're making these big profile games exclusive to PlayStation. So, I mean, it's kind of going that way anyway, to be honest. Sony will buy governance. If they do, then everyone can stop worrying about if their new game will be Sony exclusive or not. Square Enix is basically a Sony studio as is, so may as well make it official. I think everyone saw that coming. Yeah, when they're giving us the scraps, like giving us a Final Fantasy VII prequel, they're giving us the prequel with the Crisis Core prequel, but not the actual Final Fantasy VII game. So it's kind of like they're just giving Xbox guys crumbs. It's like they're saving the big entree dishes for a PlayStation. So I mean, they might as well just buy the studio at this point. I don't think most people really care, to be honest. It's like just outright buy it instead of giving Xbox owners the crumbs of the company. Um, but then again, I just now think about it. They probably wouldn't because Square Enix does a lot of business with Nintendo as well too. So they probably wouldn't make it a Sony exclusive because they do a lot of business with Nintendo. A lot of their recent games have been on Nintendo Switch. So I don't think Sony might buy Square Enix. I don't think Square Enix will sell it to Sony. Who knows? Like who truly knows? Who knows? Please effing no. Said this won't happen. As far as I'm concerned, Sony pretty much owns Square Enix already. This would be really bad. Square makes a lot of weird games that won't get made with Sony in charge of the purse strings. To be fair, as long as Square Enix fan or Final Fantasy, etc., the Western studio is not doing really well these days. However, the Japanese department like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Nier, and other JRPG projects do incredibly well. So if they can focus more on JRPG, I wouldn't complain. I mean, I know the Deus Ex series had like a core fan base. You know, those games that do really well, but people talk about those games in a high regard. And then you had the Tomb Raider remakes trilogy that they did recently. Those games were great, but I guess those games they didn't sell too well either. So yeah, I mean, if they aren't performing that well, I guess they would. It does make sense for them to get rid of them. Even though they are making a new Tomb Raider game, I'm pretty sure I heard they are making another Tomb Raider game, so you got that going for it. I said Sony was planning on buying them when they first came out with the news, and they're selling all their Western developers because that's the way they won't have to worry about other countries blocking it, and they can get Japan to approve it. I would say it once, I would say it 1,000 times. F Square Enix. So somebody's not happy about this rumor. Okay. Let's see. It makes sense seeing how there are a lot of rumors of Square Enix being bought up by Sony. While Square Enix is starting to suck wholeheartedly these days, I say it again for the 100th time, more than ever, you have to support independent niche game developers. The game industry, as we know, is being homogenized and puritanical. Okay. I noticed that people who seemingly care about acquisitions more than games also tend to have the dumbest opinions on games. Like I saw a guy say, Square sold all their worthwhile IPs. The F is he on? Yeah, doesn't make any sense right there. Uh, if this is true, Sony's intent to purchase Square Enix will explain why the recast happened and why Sony used their actors, Funimation, Aniplex, in the game because they will be taking over the franchise. Sony buying Square Enix will hurt Nintendo the most. Yeah, I would think it would hurt Nintendo more than Microsoft, to be honest. You know, they view their main competition being Microsoft. I think it will hurt Nintendo the most because Square Enix does a lot of business with Nintendo. A lot of exclusive games are on Nintendo, so they probably hurt the most out that deal. Um, as much as I dislike Square Enix as a company, he says, please God, no. I don't really care, to be honest. It's like kind of seems like it's going that way anyway. But like I said before, these are just rumors. Nothing's confirmed. And mainly, this was a guy who left the company like almost a decade ago. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But this is just his thoughts about this situation, with how the studios, how they've been managing their past studios. So yeah, I'm concluded right here. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like this video. It's always thanks for watching, and peace.